This is the fifth estate winning headlines, your media police post, coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya, from the Fort Hall School of Government. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you may have missed this morning, but we also take a look at some of the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 19th of May, 2022, and I'm 2M.
I'm Serbia.
And I am 2J, and in case you missed today's headlines, here they are. In the Daily Nation, to dump or to court. The Standard, why Uhuru won't be on Raila's campaign. The Star, Karua pick lifts Raila past Ruto in top job race.
Fantastic.
And in the People Daily, Azimio races to win defiant Kalonzo back. Is that true? Well, it's a Thursday. 2M, who do you want to address?
Now, today I want to address my dear Kikuyus. Earlier this year, Ruto's running mate, Rigathi Gachagua, admitted on television that he was used by Moi to persecute Kikuyus in Limuru. Here is a clip.
Mheshimiwa Gachagua kwende wale dio Limuru. Okay, tondu he mundu adumira message ajira Kamau era Mheshimiwa Gachagua aririkane uria andu a Limuru mahurirwo hende ya mucemanio wa Mheshimiwa Nyaja kwambira na gukituika ati Nyaja ni aruma president wa hende yo Moi.
No, maundu macio mari kuo Kangethe miaka ya 1990s na maundu macio ni mo maninirwo ni multipartyism. Ni twari thirikari ya Moi no ni tindari Moi na tindari president. Na president niwe bururi wikago uria arenda no uria ugaga niguo wikago. You know, na maundu mothe mara mahitanaga murigo ucio wa president tu wa mundu ungi. Ithuĩ turi andu a gwathwo na andu a gwathika turi andu a kirauni akuga yesa hinde yo. Waigua na maundu macio mo mathiaga na mbere.
Question is, if Rigathi can admit to the whole world that his was to take orders, then ask questions later, what will he do when he's given orders by Ruto? Guess what? Just this week, Rigathi Gachagua told us that when he becomes Ruto's deputy, he will be, yes sir.
Yeah.
Yes sir. Here's a clip.
You know, I had some people saying, oh, if William Ruto picks Rigathi Gachagua is very strong. He could have problems like the ones they were having with Uhuru Kenyatta. Such a problem cannot come from a member of this family. I am a man who was in uniform. Mine is yes sir, yes sir, yes sir.
My dear Kikuyus, the history of Ruto and Rigathi is on record. Ruto was charged at The Hague for banning young women and children. That's a fact. Rigathi himself has admitted he persecuted Kikuyus in Limuru and Molo because he was taking orders from Moi. Now he's telling you that whatever his boss asks of him, he will do. He is that upfront with you. On the 2nd of January 2008, in a church in Kiambaa, Eldoret, 35 Kikuyu women and children were burned to death just because they were Kikuyu. Here is a story of Grace Githudhwa, a victim of the Kiambaa massacre. It was published by the Guardian newspaper on the 2nd of February 2008, 7:26 p.m. The article is titled, "We told them to come out of the church, but they locked the door, and so we banned them." Here is Grace Githudhwa's story. Hundreds of youth from the Kalenjin tribe, armed with bows and arrows, started cutting the church door with pangas. They were from around here and even knew some of our names. We kneeled down and surrendered. It was quiet as we were all praying. We knew this was the end. Mattresses that were soaked with paraffin were pushed through the windows and used to block the door. Then matches were thrown in. As the fire engulfed the wooden building, the women grabbed their children and jumped through the burning windows. Githudhwa pushed her 2 elder children out of the window and then climbed out holding her 3-year-old daughter Miriam in her arms. The youths were waiting outside the church, cut people like firewood as they emerged. They snatched Miriam from me and threw her into the fire. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last time Grace Githudhwa saw her child alive. Dear Kikuyus, I will end by telling you this. The same merchants that have persecuted you for years have now regrouped. And be sure, if they persecuted you before, they will do it again. No woman should ever go through what Grace Githudhwa went through.
Indeed. Wow. That's painful to recall, but I think it's a part of our national history that should not go forgotten.
Yeah.
Now, just to take us back to the political situation, I want to take us back to a story. In the 2000 US presidential election, the Green Party candidate Ralph Nader received 97,000 votes in the state of Florida. This caused Democrat candidate Al Gore to lose the entire presidential election. The beneficiary of this was none other than George Bush Jr. Ralph Nader cost Democrats the election by eating into a voter base that would have otherwise voted for Al Gore. And thus began an 8-year-long disaster under Bush with 9/11, the Iraq War, civil rights abuses, and a totally destroyed economy. All because of 97,000 votes that a third candidate took away from Al Gore. So why have I plucked this event from history? It's because it teaches us about the real consequences of what is called the spoiler effect. In simple terms, the spoiler effect refers to a third candidate in an election whose presence draws votes away from a major candidate, thereby causing another strong opponent to win. Stephen Kalonzo Watermelon Musyoka is the spoiler in this election that might hand William Ruto the presidency.
God forbid.
And I'm not being alarmist. Kalonzo is reading out of his 2007 playbook.
True.
If he had joined Mwai Kibaki in 2007, we would have avoided violence. It must be recorded in our history that this wiper man is politically responsible for the post-election violence.
Whoa.
His 800,000 votes accounted for only 8.9% of the vote, while Baba received his consistent 44% and Kibaki had 46.6% of the vote. Country would have avoided the darkest period that 2M outlined in our electoral history if Kalonzo Musyoka had put his ego aside and backed Kibaki. Today, Kalonzo's 800,000 votes have grown to 1.5 million.
Right.
But again, where will this take him? So he has decided to spite Raila and negotiate himself into relevance. And if no one candidate will pass the 50% plus one threshold, as we have said, Kalonzo has all but guaranteed us a runoff.
Right.
But there is another option. Kalonzo was offered the position of chief minister, and there is a hope that he may still accept it.
Right.
But the fact remains that the combination must be seen in this election.
Absolutely. Whether in Dikli or
Must be seen.
Will they be satisfied to go home after the ballot with nothing to show for but a certificate of participation? Come on.
I love it.
Yeah, but we might have another option. Earlier this week, Kalonzo bin Kalonzo decided to pita katikati and announced his presidential candidacy. In his mind, he thought atapita katikati na hatutamuona. But unlike in 2007, we saw him this time round. And in doing so, he betrayed Raila and the entire Kamba nation. And I say the entire Kamba nation because the negotiated deal Azimio presented was meant for the Kamba nation. And not just for Kalonzo. Kalonzo's promised chief minister position came with many goodies for the Kamba people. Nzio Kawaita told us that the goodies included 20% of cabinet positions, 1,500 kilometers of road infrastructure, 3 level 6 hospitals, and new dams for the Kamba people. But Kalonzo does not want this for the Kamba nation. This means the Kamba nation might end up with nothing, destined to spend another 10 years loitering in the political wilderness. By rejecting the deal, Kalonzo showed the Kamba nation that his personal interests are not Ukambani's interests.
Correct.
Right now, the biggest enemy of the Kamba nation is Kalonzo. The chief minister seat belongs to the Kamba people with or without Kalonzo. Therefore, we call on the last true stateswoman of the Kamba nation, Charity Ngilu, to take back her rightful place as leader of the Kamba nation.
Yes.
This means that Azimio and the Kambas should move on and stop waiting for Kalonzo to reconsider. The train has already left the station.
Yes.
Kalonzo should know that others are waiting to replace him.
Yes.
Unlike Kalonzo, Ngilu doesn't need any courting. She is ready and always has been ready. Remember, from 1992, she took care of the Kamba nation after Mulumutisia, before Kalonzo stole her inheritance in 2007. Unlike Kalonzo, Ngilu has demonstrated that she will always put Ukambani first.
Yes.
She was the voice of the people when odds were against her. When Ngilu stood up to the Moi regime and went head-to-head against Moi in the 1997 presidential polls, all while facing intimidation and machete attacks, Kalonzo was enjoying the warmth and the cuddles of Moi's regime.
Yes.
Unlike Kalonzo, Ngilu has demonstrated that she's both consistent and dependable.
Yeah.
She has always stood by Baba. Unlike Kalonzo, who ran away with the ODM certificate in 2007 after promising to support Raila. And the country suffered because of his untrustworthiness.
Yes.
Had he stuck with Raila, like 2J said, in 2007, who knows if the 2007 post-election violence would have happened.
Yeah.
The results would have been definite,
Yes.
with no room for contestation.
Yeah.
And unlike Kalonzo, Ngilu has demonstrated she is competent and an effective administrator. If you go to Kitui now, you can see what Ngilu has done in those 5 years she has been governor. She has brought Utoake Dam to Kitui. She's fighting hunger and bringing food security in the country by making Kitui the biggest producer of dengue. She has rolled out universal health coverage with NHIF, and now Kitui is the most successful in the program, with 80% of Kitui residents soon getting on the cover. Don't forget, she was the one who started the first textile manufacturing plant in a county. Can Kalonzo say the same? What is my point here? Dear Kamba people, you are better off with Ngilu than Kalonzo.
Yeah.
With 20% of government, 1,500 kilometers of road, 3 level 6 hospitals, new dams, and Ngilu as the chief minister, isn't this already canon? What Kalonzo could not give you in 15 years, Ngilu can deliver it to you in 5 years under Raila.
Yes.
This means you can now go to Canaan Express,
Yes.
and Kalonzo doesn't have to be a part of it.
Yep.
After all, Moses saw Canaan and he never entered the land. Let that sink in.
I love it.
Wow. All right. So with that, we have a 3-part criteria that we use to judge the headlines by.
Yeah.
We ask ourselves, are the headlines topical or speculative, repetitive or groundbreaking, and finally thoughtful or just plain lazy?
Yeah.
So I'll repeat what we just went through. Daily Nation, to dump her to court. The Standard, why Uhuru won't be in Raila's campaign.
Yeah.
The Star, Karua pick lifts Raila past Ruto in top job race.
Mouthful.
Really? And then in the People Daily, Azimio races to win, defiant Kalonzo back. I would like to suggest that we toss the PD. I really do believe that, as the Daily Nation asked, to dump or to court,
Yeah.
I think Baba is going to dump Kalonzo immediately.
Absolutely.
So we'll toss the People Daily.
Yeah.
2M, you seem to quite like this Star headline, then it's
Yeah.
getting me tongue twisted.
Yeah, I mean, the guy needs some grammar lessons. But
Karua pick lifts Raila past Ruto in top job race.
just said Raila overtakes Ruto. That's it.
Right?
Fisher.
I know, exactly. Get to the point.
That's it.
Right? The Daily Nation, I love the headline, to dump or to court. I guess we can...
Can we order 2?
Oh, yes, we can give it to 2. I think to the Daily Nation, they got to the point.
Yeah.
To the Star, I think the point of the headline is correct. The Standard, why Uhuru won't be on Raila's campaign. I don't think we really care about that. We'll toss the Standard.
Yeah.
And I think we will award the winning headline jointly to the Daily Nation and to the Star. I have a little quote I'd like to share with you. It says, the ego seeks to divide and separate.
Yes.
The spirit seeks to unify and heal. And I give that quote in the context of the euphoric reception we have witnessed towards Martha Karua.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we've seen across the country that her spirit
Yes.
agrees with ours.
Yes.
This woman has come to unify
Absolutely.
and to heal.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Amen.
Don't forget, you can find us on your TV screens. We're also on Pang Free to Air, Go TV, and Star Times. Have a lovely evening, and we will see you tomorrow.